I'm Randolph Miller, and welcome to Bounce Around Charleston. Well, today we need to update you on the MOJA Arts Festival, which is getting ready to get started here in the Low Country. And I've got the right man to give you all the updates. His name is Scott Watson. Scott, welcome back to Bounce Around Charleston.
Good afternoon, Reverend Miller. Great to be with you. Always a pleasure to see you in person or over Zoom. But we'll settle for Zoom today, and look forward to seeing you out during the actual run of the festival, which kicks off on Thursday, September 29th, and runs straight on through to Sunday, October 9th, with so many great events, art exhibitions, celebrations. We just can't wait to get started.
Okay, tell us some of the events that we're looking forward to seeing.
Well, coming out of COVID, one that we're proud to be having back on the schedule, undaunted and unreduced, is we'll be back at Brittle Bank Park on Friday, September 30th, with our reggae block dance. As you know, this is kind of the main kickoff for MOJA. It's our opening weekend. Burke is at home that evening, so if folks want to come over, just walk over after the game. We'll have the music going. More important, we'll have great food vendors, craft vendors, but also your friends and neighbors, all there just having a good time and ready to celebrate the festival.
Now, you just mentioned vendors on Brittle Bank. How do the vendors become a part of that?
They can contact our office. We're probably pretty well subscribed for that particular event, but we do have a few other opportunities over the run of the festival, right on through to our finale at Hampton Park. So we're always happy to hear from folks. And if they just get onto the city directory, they'll find 843-724-7305 is the main number for the Office of Cultural Affairs. We also can, take queries to culturalaffairs@charleston-sc.gov as an email address.
Okay, now, are there any plays that we can expect?
Well, funny you should mention that. One of the longstanding anchors of MOJA has been a theater offering from Art Forms and Theater Concepts. And we were well into casting and starting rehearsal when some disruptions with the cast for their play came up, and a minor health issue that we just thought would be better to give time for. So MOJA's theater offering is actually delayed until December, when you can look forward to a theatrical offering from Art Forms and Theater Concepts at the Cannon Street Arts Center, running the first 2 weekends of that month, right after Thanksgiving. And I guess that's, with everything we've been navigating between the pandemic and, things just being a little bit off kilter over the past couple of years, that's not that big of a disappointment. We'll still get to see the work. But we do have Queen Atterbury's production, When I First Remember, which is over at Old Bethel United Methodist on Calhoun Street, which will play on our opening weekend on September 30th, October 1st, and then a Sunday matinee on October 2nd. So we're really happy that the MOJA Theater family is still a part of it, but we aren't going to be having that, big opening night curtain raising that some folks may be accustomed to.
Okay, now, what about music?
So music, we certainly have those dance cards covered in many ways. As you're well familiar, let's start with gospel. So we have the Back Home Gospel Hour that normally we would host at Trinity United Methodist, but weather has impacted the security of that venue, and rather than risk needing to cancel, we're preemptively moving over to Second Presbyterian this year for Sunday, October 2nd. That's a ticketed event. Tickets are $25, but we have a senior and student ticket price of $15. So it's all readily affordable. You can buy tickets at the door if you don't book in advance. That's a great program. But then we're also excited that Low Country Voices will be participating, a program that Nate Nelson helped us put together with you during Piccolo Spoleto. Hymology 2 will be up at Greater St. Luke on Gordon Street on Monday, October 3rd. And personally, I think we're most excited about some of the special guests, including Desmond Pringle, who, if anybody was at the Gilliard for the Denmark VC Bicentenary concert, they know hearing him sing is a blessing on any day. And he just absolutely brought down the house in July. So we're glad he's being added into this program for October 3. And then the last one, of course, will be the College of Charleston Gospel Choir. And again, with our move out of Trinity, we're figuring out exactly where they'll land, but all that information will be on the website.
Okay, and who's our artist for this year?
So our poster artist is Amiri Ferris, who is a Low Country kind of fixture based down in Beaufort area. He is Savannah College of Art and Design trained and has done a wonderful job creating a poster, which will actually, the artwork will be on view at City Gallery in conjunction with our juried art show, which will be running every day of the festival, Thursday, the 29th of September through October 9th. And I think he's come up with something that's just vibrant, a little bit abstract, certainly eye-catching, and we couldn't be happier. We're also really pleased that at the second week of the festival, he will exhibit some recent work over at Cannon Street Art Center. And then at the end of October, he'll start a month-long residency at the Gibbs Museum of Art. So you'll be able to come and visit with Amiri in person and talk to him about his practice and what he does, and get more involved. So it's really exciting to have the artists here.
Now, we have a lot of jazz lovers around the Low Country in the city of Charleston. Is there anything for our jazz lovers this year?
Funny you should ask, because that's what we will kick off. Our big curtain raising night at the Dock Street will be Saturday, October 1st. And we've put together a great program that combines Demetrius Doctor's ensemble Momentum, which has just kind of premiered in the past year at various public events. So this will be nice to see them in a classic historic space, dressed to impress. And they'll be sharing the stage with Darrell Ravenel and Peace of Mind. So people will be able to come out, enjoy the music, and go home happy and fulfilled. We also then have on Saturday, October 8th, we will continue a celebration that started last festival, with the mayor having proclaimed the 8th of October as Joey Morant Day. Joey passed last July in 21, and so his family's putting together a concert program. It's for the Joey Morant All That Jazz Incorporated Foundation, but they've invited some of the folks that played with Joey up in Harlem to come down here and share in the celebration of his life and legacy. So that will be over at Festival Hall on Saturday, October 8th, the old Meminger Auditorium. And then jazz inflected, but something you can dance to. Charlton Singleton, longstanding friend of the festival and jazz icon in his own right, trumpet player and vocalist for Ranky Tanky. Charlton's put together his 10-piece cover band, Charleston Singleton Presents, to do Wonderverse, a celebration of the music of Stevie Wonder. So that's on Friday, October 7th, doors at 7 o'clock, show at 8 o'clock, again at Festival Hall. So we've been clear with Charlton, you don't need to get up and dance, but we will have ample room for those that want to. We'll also have chairs and tables, comfortable seating for those that just want to come back and enjoy the music.
Now, will we also have our tribute luncheon?
So the tribute luncheon is another piece of the festival that's being deferred a little bit. We intentionally scheduled it for Saturday, November 12th. And part of the reason for that was we have a history of weather here in the Low Country, and we didn't want to get caught off guard by a storm off the coast or an order to evacuate from the governor. So that gives us a little bit of insulation, but also we'll be honoring 2 years of honorees because of the COVID disruption. It just gives us a little less pressure that people can come to the tribute luncheon in November, enjoy the program, and not be worried about getting to another MOJA event that night or, whatever else. But we're thrilled that it's back, and it's a great list of honorees. We'll be publicizing that in conjunction with the festival opening on the 29th of September.
I heard you mention earlier about October 2nd and the Back Home Gospel Hour and how we had to move it from Trinity United Methodist to Second Presbyterian. And I think I wanted our viewers to know that we are bringing back a Low Country favorite, Howard Brown and the Voices of Deliverance, a wonderful group, along with Elder Javetta Campbell and Mario Desashaw. They have been a part of the gospel segment for years, and the public normally comes out and support that, along with the Monday night, as you stated earlier, with Nate Nelson and the Low Country Voices, a wonderful choir group. And then you mentioned Desmond Pringle, smooth singing Desmond Pringle. And I think all of this is a wonderful part of MOJA. And we've got to tell the Cultural Affairs Department, thank you so much for allowing.
We couldn't be happier. And we got one more great homecoming, which is our dance program this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been working over several months, going back to the start of the year, with Harambe Dance Company, Frank and Sandella Malloy, who Frank will proudly tell you he is the last graduating class from Fort Dorchester, and Sandella was in the first graduating class from James Island High. So they had moved away up to the Bronx and now are co-located between Atlanta and the Bronx. And they are coming to the Dock Street Theater to premiere a new piece that we've commissioned on Thursday, October 6th. But they'll also be working out with student groups and visiting over at the college. We had them stop by on their way back from Brooklyn's Dance Africa Festival after Memorial Day during Spoleto. And they did a program at the James Island Arts and Cultural Center on Camp Road. And it was fantastic. We had an audience that ranged from a yet to be born grandchild in utero to a 100-year-old aunt, and just wonderful local icons in attendance. So we're really pleased when MOJA gives the opportunity for folks to come home to Charleston,
Mm-hmm.
share what it is that they have to offer. And then as a related thread, not homecomings, but homegoings. Homegoing is the name of a novel that was on the Oprah Book Club list by Yaj Yassi, Ghanaian-born novelist. And we are kicking off during MOJA what's called the NEA Big Read. So from late September through March, we'll be working with partners at the Charleston County Public Library, the Avery, Black Ink Book Festival, and other smaller groups, probably with Asala and some other, networks, to encourage everybody in Charleston to engage with the book. And we'll then be having special events, including discussions, artist presentations, and another juried art show at City Gallery inspired by the themes of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really excited to see that move forward, and we're hopeful that we'll close it out next year with the museum open and all of the great MLK weekend programs, Black History Month programs, and we're hopeful that we'll have an author visit then in March.
Now, how will our young people be involved in MOJA?
We have so many different ways for youth participants, whether it's an ensemble like De Nunafe, being in the parade and out at reggae, and on the stages at our big public gatherings. One of my favorites is our fourth grade readout. So we have a program where we get sponsorships and donations in place to provide a copy of one title to over 1,000 fourth graders in CCSD schools, with our priority being Title I schools on the peninsula. And the title for this year is called A Day for Remembering. It tells the history of Hampton Park and Decoration Day, as told through the eyes of a young, recently emancipated African-American child, but tells how in May 1865, the African-American community marched into Hampton Park and reinterred the Union dead who had been buried by the Confederates in mass graves,
Mm.
and sang songs and said prayers and placed flowers. And that day, Decoration Day, by a lot of scholarship, including a very prominent professor out of Yale University, is attributed as the source of our Memorial Day holiday that we know, as kind of a nice fixture of late May every year. So it's great to have an opportunity to both encourage engagement with the arts and literacy, but also to share part of Charleston's history back to our, youngest listeners and readers.
Well, Scott Watson, you can recap for us date, place, time, and where the viewers can get tickets or what they need to do to find out more about MOJA.
Well, the good news is there's so much that you can do that's free to attend. And this year, it almost all is just show up. We're not needing COVID cards or masks or anything like that. So the bulk of our program is free. The events that are ticketed will be on our website at mojafestival.com with ticketing links. Tickets are intentionally priced to be accessible. They shouldn't be more than $25, for a given attraction, including the handling fees. And the festival kicks off September 29th. That's with our parade, 6 o'clock. Come from Marion Square right on down King Street through the market. And we close out Sunday, October 9th from 11 to 8 p.m. with an all-day event at Hampton Park. But there's so much going on. We couldn't be happier, and we look forward to seeing everybody at the festival.
Well, Scott Watson, we thank you for being on Bounce Around Charleston, updating our viewers about the MOJA Arts Festival. And I know you want everybody there.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for the time.
Okay, you've heard it right here on Bounce Around Charleston. The MOJA Arts Festival is on the way. And Scott Watson says, let's go, let's get ready to have a wonderful time at the MOJA Arts Festival. We'll be right back after this break.